So remember in my last video, I was in this apartment and I was showing you I was doing the evaluation of these windows, checking all the scratches. We had some deep damage right over here where we see the blue tape on this large picture window, and there was a lot of multiple scratches all around the other windows. I identified the area, we provided estimates to the customer, but it was probably a lot bigger job than the customer and actually we expected. So for now, they want to concentrate on one spot. It's going to be this deep scratch on this big panel. It's a very significant damage. The scratch is really deep, and let's see how we gonna restore this damage. And you see here is two of the best professionals in our company, Slavik and the youngest professional, Danilo, and they gonna do the restoration in today's video. And just to remind you from the previous video, look at the damage that we have here. Look how deep is the scratch. So guys protected the area of work. There's gonna be some dust when we're gonna be grinding the glass. Usually it's a lot of white powder, white dust. They're gonna try to keep it in one area, so it will not spread around the apartment, because this apartment is already finished apartment, and we need to be extra cautious and try to make the job as neat as possible, not to make a mess in here. Danilo is preparing the glass area, Slavik is preparing all the tools. We're gonna start from the black disc. To do, unfortunately, we don't have a red discs. We out of red discs, and because we had some other deep damages later this week, and unfortunately we used the last ones. But black disc is also very good for this kind of damages. Sometimes it just takes longer, or probably we're gonna need to change more sanding discs, but it's still gonna work. And we're gonna have to work very slow in order to remove this scratch, and we're gonna smooth the area, so the actual buffing area will be probably around 2 square feet, despite that this is just a thin scratch. The reason why we do that is to eliminate that glass distortion, so it will be minimized. So the client, they marked the area with blue tape for us, and guys right now trying to peel it off because we don't need that, and they're gonna mark the area of work for them. Wow, that tape has been here for a while and it's not peeling off easy. Unfortunately, we don't have a scraper. And this is our new tape. So we tried to remove the tape with the old sand disc, but it just didn't work. All right, yeah, it's going. And this is the actual buffing disc that we're gonna use. I'm not sure what's the grade on this black disc, but you can see it's about 300 probably, or 200, something like that. So every couple minutes of work, you see the disc gets a lot of glass, and Slavik has to use the wire brush to beat it down and clean up the disc. And in order to remove scratches like this, we have to measure the temperature all the time, and we are using a special thermometers. Each thermometer measures the glass area where we work and the other areas where the work is not done. And this way we know what the temperature between heated glass and normal glass. And we have to make sure we will not exceed a certain temperature. Okay, so Slavik just told me that there was a couple of scratches on the top and they already disappeared. So right now he's gonna concentrate all his work on this deep scratch over here. We still have to measure the glass. Let's see what we have here. It's 78 versus 59 on this one. So it's not getting too hot from buffing, and it's very good sign, and it means that the work will be done safely. And this is pretty thick glass, and that scratch, it's deep, but I think we can get to the bottom of it and remove it. Oh wow, it's going really fast. Comparing to the scratches that guys did yesterday on Macy's, I'm gonna add the link in the video. For the Macy's project, there was a similar situation on the large storefront panels. The guys spent an entire day to remove it. But here the glass is a lot softer and it's going really well. Okay, so here is the small tip for those who does similar works. So the more often you're gonna beat up that disc with the wire brush to clean it up, the faster you will do the restoration. So the key is either changing a disc, but they're pretty expensive, so you don't want to change it too often. You have to work out the disc as much as you can, and the more you beat, you have to use a little bit more pressure sometimes for these kind of damages, and make sure the temperature will not exceed a certain point. All right, so this deep damage is almost gone. So you see, when you work in one area for a while, like for a long time, it's getting hot pretty fast. So you see right now, where I was showing you a few moments ago that the temperature was around what, 70, 75, I forgot. But right now we have 58 over here and we have 102 over here. So I would not rush with this glass right now and let it sit for another 2-3 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes. Let it cool down or concentrate in a different area, because this is very critical part of the job. You have to take your time, you have to be really slow, especially in conditions that we're working right now. God forbid this glass will crack, it's gonna be very big headache and very big expenses for the owners and for us as well. All right, and while we are doing our work, there's another guy who's cleaning the windows. He probably don't know he's using scraper right now. And you see, guys, he's not using it right. And maybe he was the reason why these old windows are so scratched. I don't know if he was cleaning it from inside, but when you use the razor blade, you cannot go backwards. You gotta go all the way into one direction. But he's trying, he's doing it his best, right? He's doing good. Personally, from me, big respect to guys like this. We also do this kind of work, and it's very respectful that they are still doing their work. They coming here, they making New York City a lot cleaner, and all these buildings, all these panoramic views that we have here right now, and people who live here, I'm sure they're thankful to guys like him. Okay, so while the guys are polishing in the other room, I took some of the tools that we're using for glass restoration into different room, and I just want to show you exactly the process of how scratch restoration goes and what we're using. So the first thing first, we have 2 discs of different sanding grade. So we have a black disc, that's the biggest, I would say, grade in our setup, today's setup. There's also a red one. Red one is even more thicker for the deeper damages, right? Then we have super fine gray discs, and this one you use it after you use the black disc. So this is kind of like a stage 2. You gotta work with the gray disc, and all the time while you're working with these discs, you're using a wire brush to clean up the discs when they fill up with the glass inside. You saw it on the video, on the previous video, when Slavik was cleaning the glass. Then we must have a thermometer. We have to measure temperature all the time. We measure temperature of the actual glass, then we measuring the area of work. And there's a certain degrees that we cannot exceed in order to keep the glass safe and make sure it will not crack. And then we have a final polish. We're using a white felt. That's the felt. That's a, I'm not sure, it's probably a sheep's skin or something. It's not skin, whatever, fur. And we have a special mix of water and powder that we're using for spraying on the glass and buffing with the white disc with polishing felt. So this is technically the setup, and you can use different buffers. We have a DeWalt, we have Makita, which has multiple speeds, and in the process of doing this, you have multiple speeds that you have to use. You cannot do it all on one speed, because this type of setup, it matters. So I'm gonna be doing a training video for this type of system, and I'm gonna link it in the description below or in my future videos. So like and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn how to do the restoration of the glass. And I'm showing you a real life scenario. It's not just somewhere in the warehouse where you scratch the window by yourself. I'm showing you exactly how we do it in real life. This is not like a setup situation, right? We come here, it's a real apartment, real deal, real problems that we have here that we need to overcome, and real results. Okay, I hope you liked that little insight that I gave you about the scratch removal system that we use. And right now, let's check what the guy's doing here. And again, they are chilling, do nothing, do little and chilling. But that's normal in this type of damage removal. You need to take time, just because the glass is getting hot. And let's inspect what we have left here from that deep scratch. Almost nothing. It's close to nothing. So we have to grind all the way to the bottom. So we have just a little bit in this area. Everything going good so far. Okay, so after another 20 minutes of work, the damage almost removed, and right now guys will go to the second stage. They're gonna start working with the gray disc. And if you want to see the end of this glass restoration, like and subscribe this video, subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. And if you touch this glass, you can feel it, you can feel the heat. And this is how guys are normally checking the temperature. They touch it, and if you work for a while, you can feel, you know, how hot it's actually gotta be. But the good way, the right way, is to measure it with thermometer and make sure you will not exceed a certain temperature. Okay, so this was Andrew from Total Window Service, and in today's video we were talking about deep glass scratch removal in residential apartment in Manhattan. And I'm gonna leave my guys. We have a camera set up over here, so I will be able to show you the end of this process. Unfortunately, I cannot stay here for any longer. I have to run for different appointments, but like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.